Guys, so this is gonna be kind of like halfway to ASMR video because it's 3 a.m. and I really want to do this voiceover because I want to finish editing as much as possible before work so that I can get some bad food and binge Witcher after work. And my sleeping schedule's messed up as always, but since you're seeing this video, yes, I did get my data back. Anyone who's not my subscriber is probably like, what? Shh, just let me be happy, okay? So today we are rebuilding completely the police station. All of these get to work lots just look horrible, like World War II buildings, really dark and depressing. So I don't know, there's so many nice gray shades, right? We love it. But my whole want to rebuild the station, besides the original being kind of ugly, is that it was really huge, quite wide. So actually working there was a bit of a nightmare because you had to walk from one side of the station to the next, and like an hour has passed and your workday is over. So my whole idea for rebuilding all of the work lots is to make it more time efficient so you can get more done, less walking. So it's also the same for this. So I'm just trying to include everything that you need but also make it compact. I mean, it kind of still turns out almost the same size, but it just takes a little bit less of walking around. Another issue always is that everyone always takes up all of the computers, so I try to place as many computers everywhere as possible. There's still sometimes the issues of all of them being taken, but you know, worst case you can just use the reset object and steal their computer. But here we are working on the chief's office. I kind of left it there because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't like it, so usually if I am kind of stuck on something, I just move on. So my builds are usually kind of, I like put down a bush and then go back to the main area or whatever. But here we are making the main office area where all the detectives work. You know, I put down like 6 computers, so they better not steal one. So I tried to, you know, put in as many objects as possible in this room while also making it kind of small. Oh yeah, I kind of like put down the spy mirror in the chief's office so he can spy on all the cadets, make sure they're working, as if the police officers don't know what that mirror means, but hey. And you also do need a lab in the police career, so putting as many of these down as possible just to make sure, because yeah, at least for me there were only 2 in the previous build, or I think 2, and they were always taken, so that's a bit of an annoyance. The lab part kind of looks a lot like my science center, because I actually started building this police station before I started building the science center, so the science center was actually inspired by this room. So if you've seen that one as well, you can kind of see the similarities. Here, obviously, it's just one room, but I feel like a lot of my builds, certain rooms and elements of these work lots look kind of the same, but in my defense, there aren't that many options, especially for police. There aren't any like police-related posters or decor, so a lot of it kind of had to be the same. I think there's more so the science stuff that's available. Oh look, the chief found his desk. Because previously I put down another desk and the chief wasn't sitting there, so I tried to take basically every single decor item from the previous build to make sure it's in the chief's office, and only then, like, there was some wall decor that I put in his office and only then he went there. So there's just something to keep in mind in case you're rebuilding your own. Here we are making the prison cells. I just made 3 because I think the other one also had 3. And this is basically the whole booking area of the police station. I kind of tried to put some beds and toilets down, even though obviously in the police career they just stand there, they don't actually use them, but I just wanted to make it a little bit more realistic. Here I'm kind of making the booking station person, admin, or whatever they're called, but usually no one sits there, but really it's just another opportunity to have a computer in case you need to, in case other ones are taken, in case you just happen to be on this side of the building, so you don't have to walk to the other one. Yeah, this whole area is just mainly gonna be used by the person, like the player, because the other police officers don't really book people or do interrogations. So I think there were 2 investigation rooms in the previous police station, but I just made one because it's just one person using it. And this is kind of like what you have in real life, where you have the interrogation room, and then, or at least in movies, and on the other side there is the two-way mirror, and you know, people writing down notes, reading body language or whatever they do. I think body language is the most ridiculous thing, honestly. It kind of irritates me when people say, oh yeah, this body language means that this person is lying, and I'm like, just because I'm twirling my hair doesn't mean I like you, you know. But there's only a couple areas that are kind of unusable here, but I tried to make sure they don't take up too much space, and it's just to add a tiny bit of realism, or to, you know, put down another computer. So here we are back at the chief's office, where I've had like a few days or however long. Oh yeah, so these are the things that I put on the wall where the chief actually started going there. So if you're making your own station, just make sure you put all of those things that are on the wall. I made his office a little bit more dark because I'm not sure about real police stations, but I feel like in movies the chief's office is usually a bit more decorated, a bit more personalized, at least from what I've seen. So I tried to make it a little bit less gray and a bit more lived in feeling, and have a bit of a more of a vintage style, so that you can definitely tell apart, like, oh yeah, that's the chief's office, you know, that's the big boss. And oh hello, NPC seems again. Like, I swear I wanted to, like, I don't know, set them on fire. See this issue where you have a bunch of prisoners inside. So when you first place down the lot, you're gonna have this issue until you leave and come back. But you actually have to not just go on patrol, because when you go on patrol, you are gonna have this issue where you're not gonna be really able to use the booking station or interrogate them. So once you actually finish the work day and then come back, everything will be 100% reset and everything will work fine, at least all the times that I tested it. That's what happened. And then here with the staircase, yeah, I didn't really want to build 2 floors, but I tried making a staff room and the gym area where you see the basketball court, but it just, design-wise, it just didn't look that great. It just looked like a one big blocky building with a bunch of furniture stuffed in the middle, so I wasn't really feeling it. So I was like, ugh. Really didn't want to make 2 floors for the sake of convenience, but I just ended up making a small upstairs area where you have bathrooms. There's also a bathroom in the chief's toilet. Hey, you can sneak in there, he won't see. The upstairs area is because sometimes you do have to work out in the work tasks, and the rest of it is obviously the dining area in case you don't like using cheats and actually want the Sims to eat during the day, and a shower area, everything you could need if you're not a cheater like me. Although I do try not to cheat because sometimes it just gets boring, but sometimes the needs are just too much, you know, because it's a workplace, it's not a vacation. And the kitchen, again, is kinda like basically every restaurant or community lot that I've built. But if you use the other kitchen items, it just looks like a house, and you don't want the police station to look like a house. So hey, blame Sims, they should put in more community lot looking items, but they don't. I feel like all the kitchens are quite ugly, so I always end up using just like 1 or 2 of the counters. Yeah, here I kind of struggled a little bit with the decor because, like I said, I feel like there's no police related decor besides that calendar, which looks kind of bulky and ugly. but what can you do? So a lot of their decor is repeating, but again, blame Sims, not me. So I just tried to put decor relating to some kind of maps or clues, possible criminals or something like that, and some bookcases. And I tried to put as many sitting areas as possible to look like people are going through their case files on their breaks. I tried to add in a couple of plants just to bring some life and green into, because I feel like there's plants in police stations anyways, right? So yeah, because of the lack of police decor, I just mixed some with military looking decor, paintings, posters, and some science. Okay, and here I'm just showing you, just play testing that after you actually come back, you will be able to use the booking station and lock them back in the cell, and everything should be working fine. And this I actually put down because you can either enable a focused aura so you can have it near the computers where you work, or if you view it, it will give you a boost for 4 hours. And as you may know, the best mode for the detective career is focused, so just in case you need to cheat just a little bit for your promotion, then the option is there, but obviously you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Here I'm just moving on to adjusting the outside a little bit. You kind of have to put down another floor to be able to put down the wall trims, and then delete the upper floor one by one, because if you delete the whole thing, the wall trims will go too. Here we had a problem with the plant and this area being shadowy once I had the roof on. I don't know why there's sometimes these shadowy glitches, but I ended up having to just leave an open space, and that way the shadow was gone. And then I tried putting on a glass roof, but still with that, because I think it registers that as a floor or something, the shadow was back. So I just ended up deleting it and leaving an empty space. Hopefully it doesn't rain or snow there. And then ended up covering it with an air conditioning unit. I'm just using a bunch of roof decor just to give it a little bit more dimension, because the architecture, I really wish they made some kind of 3D objects to make walls and roofs not look just so completely flat. That's why I used just a bunch of fences and pillars just to give it more of that architecture feel. And on one side I just used this sign. I tried to initially put it on like a raised hill looking thing, but that kind of just looked like a graveyard. So I just ended up putting a good old fountain around it, and then I tried to find some kind of floor that looked like the rest of the world, but of course, why would we have a matching floor? But the rest of the surrounding area I tried to make as similar to the rest of the world as possible, so that it just fits a little bit more, because the work lots, I know that they have like the restrictions because they try to make it as simple as possible, because some people have like lower end PCs, which is understandable. But yeah, I just feel like the workday lots it just looked like an empty lot in the middle of an empty field. So I just tried to make it blend a little bit better by using the same trees that you can see on the unplayable side of the or uninteractable side of the world. That way it just looks like it's actually a part of the city and not there randomly. Yeah, so we can speed this part way up, because it's there's not much going on besides me placing down some lamps. And then at the very end I just I moved the fountain a little bit off to the side, so it's not right in front of the stairs, and there is a little bit of a uneven looking bit of the tiles, but I'll fix that before I actually post it to the gallery. It just looks a bit wonky, so don't worry, I'll fix it. Just adding some more plants, some more flags, and then around the entire building I put the same pillars again, because you could see the before was just like a simple corner and it just doesn't look as good. At least here it looks like it's actually like a building, there's just a little bit of architecture and more dimension going on. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things to cheat not having any architecture items, is just by putting down a lot of pillars, and that's just the simplest way to do it. And with that, it's basically done. Just a couple more trees and that's everything. So if you would like to try this police station out or play in it, I hope you will like it. Like I said, everything's play tested, everything should work, but you do have to completely finish the workday and come back for it to properly 100% work. But if you would like to download this, you can search for Raniella818 or hashtag simmerrei on the Sims 4 gallery, and I will have uploaded this as a tray file for those of you who sometimes ask for them. The link to that will be in the description box. So I hope you enjoyed this build video. If you did, then please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!